Alright, today's everyone, I will show you the Operation Storm Analysis by me. First one, what is Gulf War? The Gulf War was a military conflict between the United States-led coalition forces and Iraqi forces in response to Iraq's invasion of Kuwait. The cause of the invasion, when Iraq went into war with Iraq faced economic difficulties and was forced to lend money, the majority of which came from Saudi Arabia and Kuwait. After the war was ended, Iraq fell into an economic crisis that left it unable to repay its debt. As Iraqi oil exports were used to cover war costs and also economic loss, Saddam Hussein then accused Kuwait of oil theft and exceeding its OPEC oil production quota, which resulted in drastic drop in Iraqi oil prices. The invasion within the short time, Iraqi forces successfully occupied our region of Kuwait. Saddam Hussein then declared Kuwait as 19th province of Iraq. This action sparked a strong international reaction. The UN Security Council immediately imposed economic sanctions and issued a resolution demanding the withdrawal of Iraqi troops. The international response, in response, the United States formed an international coalition consisting of a dozen of countries and began a military operation consisting of three stages. The first stage is Operation Desert Shield. Operation Desert Shield began in August of 1919, immediately began after Iraqi invasion of Kuwait. Its primary objective was to protect Saudi Arabia from further attacks by Iraq force and secure the Gulf region, which was vital to the global economy. Also, the United States, at Saudi Arabia request, led a massive troop deployment to the Gulf region. Thousands of troops from coalition countries were also deployed, including United Kingdom, France, Egypt, and other Gulf Arab states. The second stage is Operation Desert Storm, was began in January 17, 1991. After the end of the defensive phase of Desert Shield, this was the offensive phase to expel Iraqi forces from Kuwait by military force. The attack began with a massive aerial bombardment of strategic Iraqi positions, including command center, communication facilities, and military installations. This artillery, this airstrike lasted for more than 5 weeks, drastically weakening Iraq's fighting capability. The operation involved the coordination of coalition aircraft, warship, and artillery. The third stage is Operation Desert Saber. This was the codename for the major ground offensive launched in February 24, 1991, as part of the final phase of the Operation Desert Storm. The primary objective was to liberate Kuwait and destroy Iraqi ground forces. The coalition force, led by United States, launched a swift and massive offensive, cutting off Iraqi supply lines and encircling them from behind. This maneuver was highly effective. In less than 100 hours, Iraqi force suffered a major defeat. Hundreds of thousands of Iraqi soldiers were surrendered, and Kuwait was liberated from the occupation. This is the map for the coalition ground strike map. Also, this one is an extra. Hunt for the Scud missile. During the 1990 to the 1991 Gulf War, Iraq's Scud missile poses a significant threat to the coalition force, and because of their high mobility, hunting them will become a priority. To address this threat, coalition forces deploy surveillance aircraft, satellites, drones, and special force units deep within the enemy lines to counter Scud threat. The factors in the victory of the coalition force. The first one is dominant air force. Massive airstrike destroyed Iraqi military infrastructure before the ground offensive began. Second one is high-tech equipment. The coalition used the latest technology such as stealth aircraft, modern missile, precision guided missile, and advanced navigation systems. The third one is Iraq degrading morale and logistics. The Iraqi army lacked fighting spirit, supplies, and effective communication. The highway of death. The highway of death was the nickname for the main highway between Kuwait and Basra, Iraq, where thousands of Iraqi troops were attacked during their retreat from the Kuwait on February 26 to 27 in 1991. The coalition struck and destroyed approximately 1,400 military vehicles, and many Iraqi soldiers were killed. The sight of burning vehicles on the road became the dramatic symbol of Iraq's defeat. This event confirmed the coalition military dominance, but also drew international criticism for attacking retreating troops. The consequences. The Gulf War ended with a liberation of Kuwait, but left behind extensive damage, including devastating oil wildfire. The Iraqi military was devastated, and the country was subjected to heavy UN economic sanctions, causing humanitarian crisis. At home, Iraq faced insurgencies from Shia and Kurdish groups. The United States and its allies maintained military presence in the Gulf to maintain stability and strengthen and its influence in the Middle East. The war also brought major political change in the region and left serious environmental impact. Alright, that's everything. I offer my utmost thanks and humbly crave for your forgiveness and for any shortcoming in terrain. Thank you, everyone.